Welcome to Jurassic Park Minute, a podcast 65 million years in the making. Jurassic Park Minute is going to be a fan podcast that is going to chronicle and overanalyze the classic 1993 film Jurassic Park. I'm Kyle.
I'm Brady.
And you might know our dulcet tones from the Ghostbusters Minute podcast. And if you're coming over from Ghostbusters Minute, we want to thank you so much for joining us on our next adventure, Jurassic Park Minute. Brady, tell me what Jurassic Park Minute is.
Well, Jurassic Park Minute is a new addition to the Movies by Minutes family. This format was invented by the guys over at Star Wars Minute and has since then been carried on to different shows that analyze certain movies. A few of them are Indiana Jones Minute, Jaws Minute, Alien Minute, several others.
As If, the Clueless Minute.
Yeah.
A Talking Cast, which was the minute-by-minute breakdown of the movie A Talking Cat starring Eric Roberts.
That's right.
So, yeah, it's been done in all sorts of fantastic movies, and we figured, let's go ahead and add another movie to that list. And I would say maybe like the second or third week you and I were doing Ghostbusters Minute, you turned to me and you said, Jurassic Park Minute.
Yeah,
I was like, what? What are you talking about? That's an apropos of nothing. And I was like, no. You were like, no, I want to do Jurassic Park Minute. And I was like, yeah, okay, that sounds like a great idea. So for a while there, I think we were kind of starting to just kind of get the wheels turning on what we wanted to do with Ghostbusters Minute and how we wanted to follow that further into other podcasts, right?
Yeah, we definitely knew that we wanted to keep doing this. Keep doing this movie analyzation thing minute by minute and in podcast form. And I don't know. It just felt like a sort of
the natural evolution.
The natural evolution of
as
where
if,
we were going to go.
As the same way that a giant dinosaur would maybe evolve down into a small chicken at some point.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or a giant turkey, maybe.
But so in terms of why Jurassic Park, for me, just about every generation has a cinematic blockbuster that that was kind of their own.
It defines a generation.
It defines a generation, and it's basically for you, whatever that was, whenever you sort of came online, if you will. Mm-hmm. As long as you've had a memory, you have had a movie, a big movie that has sort of been the movie event of your generation. For a lot of people, it was Star Wars. For some people, it's been Harry Potter, maybe Lord of the Rings.
But typically, it's a movie that breaks down barriers and it elevates the genre or the medium to a new form. So we're talking about like in Birth of a Nation was like long format storytelling. The Jazz Singer was the first movie with sound. Jurassic Park it falls into all that because it's the first movie that really used CGI enhanced special effects to a great effect to really push the storytelling. Right.
That's right. That's definitely one of the cornerstones of this movie is its technical advancements.
Right.
In particular, CGI. You had seen that in a few movies coming up before then, but it wasn't until Jurassic Park that all audiences were able to see this. A movie that came shortly before that really showcased CGI was Terminator 2. Well, that was an R-rated film, so it was very limited to how many people could witness this amazing birth of filmmaking technology. And it wasn't until Jurassic Park that much larger audiences were able to see this magic. These things come to life, and that was a big part of this movie.
Witness the giant technological leap that was Jurassic Park.
That's right.
And then after that movie came out, film was never the same.
It was never the same.
No. Do you remember that summer? I think it was Jurassic Park and Last Action Hero were the two big movies opening that were supposed to go up against each other. And like Last Action Hero, even with Arnold Schwarzenegger, one of the biggest movie stars to ever live, didn't stand a chance up against Steven Spielberg's CGI dinosaurs.
Right, and it wasn't just the dinosaurs. It was the film making all around. It was this character-driven piece that was just in the hands of the most proficient filmmaker, arguably, of all time. And it just hasn't gone away. It hasn't gone away, and you've seen it carried on in different sequels. And now we have recently, in the time of this recording, seen Jurassic World come around, and this film franchise has sort of had a great rebirth. So for me, I was 8 years old when this movie came out, and it was my generation's Star Wars, if you will, because it was the first movie summer blockbuster that I can remember being aware of. And I remember going to see, I think it was like Batman Returns when, if I'm not mistaken, it was that movie when I saw the teaser trailer, and I had no idea what Jurassic Park was. I wasn't aware of the book or anything, and I remember you turning to me and saying, "Oh, this is this thing I've heard about. This is going to be huge." And I just remember in that teaser the microscope and then the image of the mosquito and the amber and then the logo. And those things just sort of just I don't know, doing something to me in my little mind.
It awoken something inside of you, didn't it?
And said like, this is where your passion in life is going to be. It's going to be in movies, and this is the thing that's really going to bring it home for you. Is this movie Jurassic Park?
And one of these days, you're going to get in front of a microphone and you're going to analyze this movie 1 minute at a time.
One minute at a time.
So for folks who are out there who are fans of the Ghostbusters Minute podcast, and they're probably, I'm sure they're fans of Minute by Minute podcasts, what can they expect from Jurassic Park Minute? Is it going to be the same format as Ghostbusters Minute? Are we going to do anything different this time around?
It's a little bit of both. A little bit of both. I mean, obviously, this format, studying movies minute by minute, there's not really a whole lot you can change about that. But we definitely don't want it to be the same thing that Ghostbusters Minute is. We definitely want this to be something a little bit unique. And through that, we're going to have probably more special guests on to speak. We're going to have them who aren't just people who are affiliated with movies. We're probably going to have some people on who are, say, experts in the field of paleontology. And we're going to have our Patreon subscription. So we're going to have all kinds of great bonus episodes, which we do have with Ghostbusters Minute. But the thing that's going to separate them from Jurassic Park Minute is how they are going to be, one, about the movie, and two, about things that the movie is about, like I said, paleontology and whatnot. So it's going to span a pretty wide array of topics.
So if you were a fan of Ghostbusters Minute, we figure you're probably going to be a fan of Jurassic Park Minute, correct?
Absolutely.
But expect it to be a little bit different, because every time you and I do this, and hey, Jurassic Park Minute may not be the last time we do it, we're going to try to do something a little bit different every time to make the show stand out. So
that's right.
If you were a fan of one, we'd love it if you checked out the other. And I think it's going to be a great time. So that first episode is going to be dropping October 17th, correct?
That's right.
We're giving ourselves a little bit of lead time on this one because we want to basically have our new studio set up in time to premiere Jurassic Park Minute. So we're going to get that set up, do some recording, and then, right out the gate, we're going to hit it with a lot of really great stuff for you guys out there. So, And this is not going to slow down the rest of Ghostbusters Minute. We're going to be doing Ghostbusters Minute and Jurassic Park Minute on top of each other.
That's
so
right, yeah.
We apologize to our family. I apologize to my wife ahead of time. I might be working some late nights at the office, talking to paleontologists over the internet.
That's right.
But I hope that she understands.
Well, tell me this, co-host. What does Jurassic Park mean to you, and when did you sort of first become aware of it?
So I guess I had read the book before the movie. No. I saw the movie first. That's right. And then I heard so much about the book and how great it was that I read it immediately, like the next day. I saw the movie, bought the book in like a K&B drugstore or something like that. And then I think I went to camp and I read the book as I was at camp. But I remember I went to camp the week after I saw Jurassic Park for the first time, and I would not shut up about it. I talked to everybody I could and told them, like, you guys need to see this movie when you go back, because it blew up to the biggest movie ever, like highest grossing film ever, while we were at camp. And I was the only guy like at camp that had seen it for some reason. And I was just telling everybody, like, you guys, as soon you don't understand, everything is different now. Everything is different. Dinosaurs are real. So when the movie came out at first, I was I was very aware of it, because there was a book. There used to be this series of books called A Day in the Life, and A Day in the Life would go to like New York, and they would put these photographers in New York, and in one day in New York they would take as many photographs as they could, and they compile it into a book of this is just one day in the life. Well, they did A Day in the Life of Hollywood, and one of the things they did during this is they went to the set of Jurassic Park and took a bunch of pictures of what was going on. Well, this book was a big deal when it was coming out, and I think it was like 1992 or whatever, but so they previewed this book on some nightly news thing, and I remember seeing pictures of Steven Spielberg sitting on top of dinosaurs that were grayed out, that someone had gone in with a pencil and just grayed out the dinosaur in the image because they were so realistic. They're like, we cannot show you the dinosaurs in these pictures, but here's Steven Spielberg sitting on top of, what would have become the Triceratops laying on its side. So as a kid, as a huge fan of dinosaurs growing up, that was dormant in me by the time that I saw this movie, but it was exciting from beginning to end. And I was impressed by the dinosaurs, how real they looked. But the thing that really blew me away was the sense of adventure that the movie had. It was, it's so much fun to watch. And there's something like 7 minutes of dinosaurs in the movie.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot.
It's not a whole lot. I don't care about that. I'm there for the way it sets itself up, the mystery it has, the way that it uses science. It's basically Dr. Frankenstein's, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein story over again, right? But it took that fundamental idea of science in the wrong hands and used it to great effect. And I absolutely loved this movie when I saw it. And I think that as far as filmmaking goes, it fascinates me because it's taking a technological aspect of filmmaking, the CGI stuff. And I love it when film can be artistic and blue collar and also kind of push science at the same time. So I love seeing like special effects because to me, having, done some film stuff, I know that those special effects are usually guys with their sleeves rolled up, blue collar people trying to make things work with whatever they have sitting around. So even though they're using like science and technology, it's also kind of like a real like gritty, kind of like work ethic behind it too, which I can appreciate. So for me, Jurassic Park is more than anything else, it's an adventure movie, and I can't wait to undertake this adventure of dissecting Jurassic Park minute by minute and trying to get to, as we did with Ghostbusters to a degree, get to the backstory and all this stuff too. And it's going to require a lot of research for you and I, and that's also why we're giving ourselves a lot of lead time on this, because it's going to take a lot of research into the field of paleontology, into biomedical science, which I would love that we're going to do some research on DNA. Because the one thing we try to do with Ghostbusters Minute is really look into the background, figure out what's going on, and dissect everything in the scene, and try to fill up a 15-minute podcast from 1 minute of screen time with everything that we see. So
that's right. This is about more than just studying these movies minute by minute. It's about getting into the world of what these films are about.
Right.
It goes beyond just fandom of the movie and studying the movie. I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off. Go ahead.
No, I also want to say, like, I'm a huge, at least was back in the day. After I saw this movie, I think it was going into my freshman year of high school, I read every book Michael Crichton had published in a 3-month period. Yeah. And I've really kind of stopped reading after that point. Mm-hmm. Now, I mean, I read on and off, but it was only like, the big books or whatever. But I'm a huge Michael Crichton fan, and I love what he did in Congo and Sphere, and I really wish those movies had lived up to the potential of Jurassic Park as a film as well. But I'd like to talk some about Michael Crichton and the legacy that he left behind, because he's got so many fantastic books that haven't been adapted yet.
The great thing, and again, we're going to get into this whenever we talk more about it, but the wonderful thing about Michael Crichton is the fact that you were learning when you didn't know you were learning.
And even if you're not learning, he's making you feel like you're learning.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of stuff that he did, and it's just he made you feel smart because you read it. Because you could understand what he was saying, he had a way of making you feel like a smart person. So,
well, that does it for the pilot. I mean, I cannot express how excited I am, how excited we are to take on this adventure. And this is one of my favorite movies of all time. I think I'm speaking on behalf of a large part of society.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to break down this very, very, very important movie.
So if you're coming to Jurassic Park Minute because you're a fan of Jurassic Park, but maybe not necessarily somebody who's into the movie by minute format, where can people go on the internet to find out more about Movies by Minutes podcasts?
So Movies by Minutes is something that's already been around this format. A couple of the other guys who are out there doing it are Star Wars Minute, Goodfellas Minute, A Talking Cast, Back to the Future Minute, Indiana Jones Minute, The Wrath of Khan Minute, Jaws Minute, Alien Minute, The Cast Next Door, As If, Assembling the Avengers, Airport Minute, and Caddyshack Minute.
Caddyshack Minute. Yeah. I got to get into that. That sounds great. I haven't heard that one yet.
So there's a lot of great options, a wide array of movies out there. And hey, if someone is listening to this and you didn't hear a movie that you like mentioned in there, get on it. Yeah. Get on it. There's too many good movies out there that are not being broken down minute by minute. So
get yourself a microphone, grab yourself a coat hanger, attach it to that, and go ahead and start podcasting, because that's what it's all about, right?
That's what it's all about.
All right, folks. Well, join us back here on October 17th for minute number 0, the first 60 seconds of Jurassic Park. Grab your copy of the book Jurassic Park. Have you read the book Jurassic Park?
Oh, yeah, many times.
I think we both need to reread it before we do this podcast as well. So, grab it and get ready to have a great time, because we're going to go through this thing minute by minute, and it's going to be a fascinating, really fun time.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you on October 17th.
Jurassic Park Minute is a fan-supported podcast. If you like the podcast, then leave us a review on iTunes. You can contact us at JurassicParkMinute@gmail.com and visit us online at JurassicParkMinute.com, Facebook.com/Jurassic Park Minute, and Twitter.com/Jurassic Minute.